Hey everybody, welcome to the Midships YouTube channel. We're so glad to have you here. Today we're going to do a little bit more cruise news, and we're talking about actually a pretty cool ship today. I actually went and saw this ship in person here in Port Canaveral a few weeks back. We are talking about, of course, the Royal Caribbean Odyssey of the Seas. It's their big new Quantum Ultra class ship that'll be sailing out of Fort Lauderdale here later this year. So we're going to hop right into a news article, go ahead and distill it down for you, give you the latest and greatest on Odyssey of the Seas. Perfect. So here's the article, and we'll pull it up just a little bit bigger so you can see it all right. So as you can see, the title is Royal Caribbean News, New Built Odyssey of the Seas, preparing for July 31st launch, currently on a test cruise. This article was written by Fran Golden, and we are on the Cruise Critic website. I'll go ahead and link this complete article down below the YouTube video in the comments section. And while you're down there actually clicking the link, we're a new channel and we would very much appreciate if you could like and subscribe to our channel. We're growing, trying to produce as much content as possible, and every button click that you can give us really helps us out in the algorithm, helps push out this video to more and more people that are interested in cruising like yourself. So without any more talking, let's get into the article. This was written July 20th. Royal Caribbean's much anticipated newest ship, Odyssey of the Seas, has embarked from Fort Lauderdale on a 2-night test cruise in preparation for its first cruise on July 31st. The 4,198-passenger ship, a Quantum Ultra class, with new features and restaurants that have yet to be enjoyed by any U.S. passengers, left Port Everglades on Monday, July 19th. When it starts its revenue-based cruises, the Odyssey of the Seas will sail on 6- and 8-night Caribbean itineraries. This test cruise is required by the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, that's the CDC, because Royal Caribbean is allowing families on board, and therefore they're unwilling to commit to the requirement that 95% of passengers on the cruise be vaccinated. So kind of like the video we talked about yesterday, where unvaccinated cruisers are looking like they're becoming maybe a second-class citizen, or maybe they're having a little bit more of a watered-down cruise experience when compared to those that are cruising fully vaccinated on cruises. This is going to be the same story. So whether or not you've had your shot, you're going to be welcome on the ship. So that's great news for all of us that are watching, because I know we're all dying to get back out there and cruise. And this ship just looks awesome. I'll put up some pictures here from when I went to see it. I think this is going to be a great ship to cruise on. So Royal Caribbean, however, is heavily suggesting that all guests age 12 and up come fully vaccinated and ready to cruise. Obviously, that's just going to give you overall the best experience that you're going to find on a cruise. You show up, like we talked about yesterday, if you show up unvaccinated, you're not getting into any of these great restaurants, the extra pay per restaurants. You're probably not going to be welcome into the casino at times, and maybe you're not going to be able to get into some of these shows. So really, it's kind of shaping up to be, vaccinated are really going to enjoy the full cruise benefits here. So let's hop back into the article. Guests who are not vaccinated will find that they're restricted from such new experiences as the Virtual Adventure Zone and the teppanyaki restaurant, serving hibachi-style Japanese cuisine. Now that sounds really good right about now. I could go for some hibachi. Wow, look at this pool deck. These colors are just great. This ship looks absolutely fantastic. It's going to be a great time. New features on the ship. Odyssey introduces new features. Among those are the largest seaplex on the ocean, an action wonderland that's been updated to add more virtual reality and augmented reality-based games, including the Virtual Adventure Zone. We'll have to look more into that one. That could be a very cool experience. The indoor and outdoor seaplex also feature glow-in-the-dark laser tag, bumper cars, and a skypad bungee trampoline. Actually, a fun fact, one of the people that I've worked with in the past is one of the providers for laser tag on board with these ships. So maybe we'll be able to talk to him and one of these days and kind of get an idea of any of the new stuff that may be coming down the pipe for Royal. But back to the article. The ship has a redesigned 2-deck pool area themed on the Caribbean, with 2 open-air resort-style pools and 4 whirlpools. So hot tubs for those of us who don't like to use the term whirlpool. Surrounded by lounge chairs as well as casitas and hammocks. There's also a lime and coconut bar featuring a rum drink of the same name with live music. Odyssey of the Seas is Royal Caribbean's first North American-based cruise ship with a teppanyaki restaurant. One of 15 onboard eateries on the ship. Wow. 8, like teppanyaki, carry an added fee. Okay, so it looks like about half of the restaurants on board Odyssey, it's going to come with a little extra charge if you want to dine there. No problem, not surprising. Already popular Royal features are on board too, including Flow Rider Surf Simulator, the Ripcord by iFly simulated skydiving, and the North Star observation capsule. A rock climbing wall and Splashaway Bay water park are also on board. So let's kind of go ahead and get into the if you're vaccinated or not, what you're able to do. So it looks like we're going to begin with vaccinated guests. So vaccinated guests on board will have full run of the ship, including indoor areas for vaccinated guests only, where masks will not be required. Everyone is able to go mask-free when outdoors. So when you're out on the pool deck, it looks like no matter who you are, you're going to get to enjoy that open-air cruise experience. So that's really great news for anybody that was worried that they may be in their mask the entire time on their Odyssey cruise. As on other Royal Caribbean ships that have recently set sail from the U.S., unvaccinated guests will be required to wear masks while indoors when they're not eating or drinking. And they'll face a bunch of other restrictions. Like we've talked about in previous videos, you're going to be testing 3 times if you're sailing on a Royal Caribbean. That first test currently is required to happen 3 days before your sail date, and it has to be a full PCR test. Additionally, Royal's going to be testing you right when you get to the port and testing you when you disembark. And both of those tests, along with the PCR test, are all paid for by you. So that's going to add a couple $100 extra to the cruise experience. I think Royal's charging between $140 and $180 for the 2 tests that they'll administer during your time with them. Back to this. Vaccinated adults traveling with unvaccinated children are restricted when they are together with the kids. So again, the vaccinated adults can leave the kids in the unvaccinated area of the main dining room, and those vaccinated adults, they can go off and enjoy their dinner at the teppanyaki restaurant, the steakhouse. Basically do anything that the fully vaccinated people can do. So it's a good way to sort of give the whole family a cruise experience. So I really like that rule. That's great. This is shaping up to be really the best of both worlds for everybody on here. I know some people are going to say, well, if I don't have a vaccine, I'm paying for this and I'm not getting all of these benefits. And that's true. I very much I empathize with that. But unfortunately, this is the world we live in right now. And these cruise lines sort of get to make the rules. So we all just have to play within their courts for the time being. And hopefully later this year, these restrictions can ease a little bit further. Areas closed to unvaccinated guests on board will be the new Virtual Adventure Zone and Laser Tag. The rest of the Seaplex, as well as the North Star and Ripcord, will be available to unvaccinated guests only during specific dedicated hours. So it looks like you're going to be able to use a good amount of the fun things on the ship. Those who have not been vaccinated will not have access to the new teppanyaki restaurant, as we said before, nor the chef's table, and will be restricted to deck number 3 in the main dining room. All other restaurants are open to all guests with social distancing policies in place. If you've not been vaccinated, you will not be allowed to visit the Casino Royale. Whoa, that's a big one, guys. If you're planning on going on this cruise and you like to hit the casino, maybe you're a blackjack or a craps guy like myself, you're not going to have a great time on this cruise because it's basically going to be like a port day the whole cruise for you. You're not going to be hitting that casino without a vaccine. Additional areas closed to non-vaccinated will be the solarium pool, art auctions, and the Vitality Spa. And it looks like the fitness center will have specific times dedicated to non-vaccinated guests. Open only to those with vaccines are Boleros and the pub, as well as events such as the 70s Sea Party, the 70s Party in the Seaplex, and the Hush Silent Dance Party, which are actually really funny to watch. You don't want to miss that if you have a chance to ever do that while you're out here with Royal. In the musical hall and the Royal Theater, unvaccinated guests will be restricted to seating only on deck 4. So that's going to be, you're sort of sitting in the back area within the theater. Shore excursions required only for unvaxxed guests. Royal Caribbean's private Bahamas Island Perfect Day at Coco Cay is open to all guests without restrictions. That's not the case at Odyssey's other ports of call, where those who are not vaccinated will only be allowed off the ship on shore excursions. So it looks like you're only getting off the ship if you book directly through Royal Caribbean if you're cruising without a vaccine. while vaccinated guests are free to explore ports on their own. These ports will include Costa Maya and Cozumel, Mexico, on the 6-night Western Caribbean itineraries, and Aruba and Curacao on the 8-night Southern Caribbean sailings. Rules onshore in Falmouth, Jamaica are to be determined. So we're TBD on Jamaica, and that's according to Royal Caribbean's website. So with that, we're going to wrap up the article. Guys, I'm really excited for this new ship. Boy, I tell you what, until you see these things in person, you just really, you can't appreciate what we have available to us right now. What a great time to be alive. And, everything's moving in the right direction. Odyssey's out right now on its test cruise. And, I really applaud Royal Caribbean for trying to be inclusive of all their potential customer base on this, or as inclusive as possible. Look, they could have just said, look, no, we're not going to take anybody except for the people with the vaccine, and that's all we're going to take. But instead, they're willing to do this extra work and put it in so all of us are able to cruise, whether or not we're getting this vaccine. So thanks so much for tuning in and watching today. And go ahead, and as you're leaving here, please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next Midships video.